Hey everybody, welcome to CS 355. Thank you for watching this video. So what am I going to do in this video? I'm going to kind of go on introduction about cryptography, but for this course. So there's another video that's out there that actually kind of goes an overview of cryptography and like the materials. This video specifically, we're going to go over the syllabus, kind of talks about different things, my expectations, this course, and just kind of help answer any questions that you may have. And if this doesn't help answer any questions, please feel free to send me a ping. But let's get started. Welcome to week one. Super exciting. Let's get right to it. So kind of just the agenda of what this video is going to be. We're going to kind of do a course introduction. You're going to learn a little bit about me. We're going to talk about the syllabus, some basics. We're going to talk about some of the deliverables and just some things to know. So first, who am I? Let me kind of go through all this. So my name is Omid Adam Cindy. I'll be your professor for this course. I've actually taught this course previously, so this is another rendition of mine. So I'm super excited to do it and kind of do it a little bit different than I did previously. So pretty cool. I've taught cryptography 355. I've taught project management 399, and I recently taught professional computing CS 411. And, with me and myself, so I am an adjunct professor here at Northeastern Illinois University. I have been doing this for a little over a year now. What I do outside of this, actually, if you can tell right here to the photo, I'm a program manager at Google. And I've had some extensive years of experience in different areas. So we talk about some stuff in IT and HR. I've done a lot of product development, program management. I have my own nonprofit, so I've done a lot of nonprofit development. Project management, I work very heavily within Google Cloud platforms and a lot of SaaS development, which is software as a service. So I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I'm not really proficient in just one thing. I kind of know a little bit about everything. So I'm here to help. If any of these things are some things that you want to do or you have questions about, by all means, just let me know. I'm happy to talk about any of these things. Perfect. So currently, what am I doing? So I'm a program manager at Google, as I mentioned. I also am a co-founder and executive director for the Maleha Karina Foundation, or MCF as we call it. It's a nonprofit organization here based in Chicago. Our mission is to do a lot of cancer research on pediatric cancer. So if that's something as well that's interesting to you and you kind of want to learn more about that or learn about starting your own nonprofit or anything in that realm, by all means, let me know. And as I mentioned, adjunct CS professor here at NEIU, super excited. So education certificates. So now you may be thinking, okay, like who are you? What have you done? Why are you qualified to even talk about any of these things? So I actually got my bachelor's in business administration at NEIU. I got that with my undergrad, and then I went to business school and I got my master's in management, my MS, from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, Geese College of Business. And on top of that, I have my project management professional or the PMP certificate. So I kind of been in all different areas of management. And throughout that entire time, I've had a lot of work with CS, computer science, and in different realms and all over the place. So if we talk about software development, as I mentioned before, or we talk about anything else, a lot of my life has worked around tech and teaching tech stuff. I've also dabbled into cybersecurity. I learned about encryptions and actually do some of the things day to day in my previous roles prior. So I'm kind of, like I mentioned before, jack of all trades, know a little bit about everything. Cool. So next, just here's some fun facts about me. I like to always keep everything pretty casual with my students. I don't want to have kind of this blocker or this wall of like, I am a professor, you are a student type mentality. I am all for everything, right? I'm trying to be an open book as much as possible. I just try to do a whole bunch of things. So just learn some fun facts about me. I've written an academic research paper. You can check it out. I posted it on LinkedIn. It's about iPhone productivity. I did it a couple of years ago. Yielded some pretty interesting results. So definitely take a look. I'm an avid reader. I love to read, but caveat to that. I'm an avid reader, but I'm very big into audibles. So I really listen to a lot of audibles. So if you have any recommendations to books, by all means, let me know. If you want a link to some recommendation books that I've read in the past, you can click that link on there on the slides. I also have a rescue cat. His name is Dino. if you ever schedule some one-on-ones or schedule some office hours with me, you'll most likely hear him in the back, or you actually might hear him, today in this video as well, or in some of the other videos. He's a pretty big talker. So if you wanna check him out, there's some photos of him. And then overall, if you want to learn more about me, I have a website called it's at www.omidcindy.com, and you can learn a little bit more about me. What I would say is that if you want to know much more about me, check out my LinkedIn. If you have a LinkedIn, by all means, add me on LinkedIn, connect with me. Um, Eventually, everybody in this course will have a LinkedIn in some sense. It's actually one of the assignments. But by all means, feel free to connect with me and just I'm always open to chat. Cool. So what we'll do next is we'll jump into the syllabus and some of the basic stuff. So I'm going to kind of go down the syllabus slide form just to help make sure I don't miss anything. So again, course information, I'm not going to read all this to you, it's on the syllabus, but basically, TLDR about this is that we're going to learn a lot about cryptography, we're going to learn about some applications. I'm going to talk about some cool stuff like digital signatures, entity identities, some exchanges. We're going to talk about Bitcoin towards the end. We're going to talk about like blockchain and a whole bunch of cool things happening right now. And throughout the course, I'll be sending some articles of any cool things that I see. Yeah, it's going to be super fun. We're going to learn a lot here. This is the summer course, so it moves a little bit faster than a normal fall or winter term. So just keep in mind that the material does move a little bit fast. And if you ever get lost, please just reach out and I'm going to try and help you get up to speed as soon as possible. Lectures are online. As I'll mention later on, the week starts on Monday, ends on Sunday. You can check out the videos on your own time. The assignments they have their strict deadlines to it, so just make sure that you're on it, on top of it. And yeah, it's a 3-credit course. So pretty cool, pretty fun. Also to mention, this is 10 weeks to your traditional 16 weeks. So just FYI. Some information, as you guys know, my name is Omid. I'm usually in the office here and there, but if you ever want to meet in the office, this is my office location at the LWH 3059. Again, I do office hours by appointment. I've seen this to be the best form of communication, to be honest. So I've already linked out my scheduler out in D2L. So by all means, look for it, look some time, we can talk. It's not simply just for the one-on-ones, it's for anything. So if you just want to chit chat, by all means, schedule some time with me. That's my email address right there. Best form of communication. I breathe and work on my phone. So if there's something that you need that's urgent, by all means, ping me through Gmail. They're obviously the ping function. So if it's important and you really want to get an answer very quickly, ping me. If it's something casual that you're not, not urgently looking for an answer, by all just send me an email and I'll respond to it. I'm pretty good on my response. I would like to advocate for myself and say I'm pretty good. I like to respond pretty quickly. Again, like I said, my entire life kind of revolves around my phone and my computer, so I'm usually hooked up to the internet in some capacity. So I shouldn't go a couple days without responding to any of your emails. And if it does seem to be that case, by all means, just ping me again. Maybe I missed it in some email threads, but I'm usually pretty much on top of it. Great. So next we have the required material for this course, and we have the book here. I've linked it out in our resource tab within D2L. No need to buy it. I linked out the PDF that I found that I use, so there's no need to go and buy this material. I'm never for the fact of professors assigning required books that you have to buy and then you only use it for a short period of time. I get it. You guys are all college students, graduate, undergrads. But if you can save money any way possible, I'm here to help as well. So the book is linked out here. You can look at the book, use it as a resource when we're some of the sections I have required readings. And these required readings, some of the material on the readings will show up on the quizzes. So it's not just there for fun. I specifically call out certain pages, and then those are all up for grabs. So it's all fair games, for any questions like that. Cool. So some of the major topics that we'll talk about, as I mentioned, some are blockchaining. We'll talk about some algorithms, block ciphers, stream ciphers, key exchange. So it's going to be a pretty cool course, pretty fun. There are smaller things that I talk about here and there, but these are the major things that I'll cover throughout the course. And if there's something else that you think that it would be good for us to cover, like I'm all for it. I'm all for trying to tailor this as much as possible to what you guys think it's best suits your knowledge points. And here are some objectives by the end of the course. What are some things that you should be able to do, right? Some things are just call outs here are basic cryptographic issues and algorithms, understand major threats and vulnerabilities, because cybersecurity is a very hot field and cryptography is very big and encryptions, but a lot of times people don't understand the small nitty-gritties of cybersecurity that could, people always look at, oh, how do you encrypt a hardware? How do you encrypt like certain communications? But we actually talk about like, hey, like how do you recognize small threats? Some things like phishing. We talk about anonymous communications. We'll talk about a whole bunch of different things. So these are just some of the objectives that you'll be able to do and be familiarized and kind of understand. This course doesn't go fully in depth in a lot of these concepts, right? This is an introductory course to cryptography more so. And just, there are some topics that I'll mention that are a little bit more high level, but as an overarching thing, I'm not here and I'm not going to require you to build out entire algorithmic systems for me. That's not the point of this course. Just to expose you and kind of teach you a little bit about certain concepts. Cool. So now we'll talk about some of the deliverables that you'll have to do throughout this course. So as the first one, as I mentioned this previously, LinkedIn profile. I have made this a requirement in some of my courses over the last couple of courses because as students that are juniors, seniors, and graduate students, one thing you'll come to realize is that once you've graduated, undergrad or graduate, it is very hard in the job market to make some networking, some connections. So I have made this a requirement since I think last year, I want to say. And this is more so just for you. I want to make sure that you have the tools and the accessibilities to reach out, to be ready for whenever you do graduate, or even make them now. This is how, if you don't know much about LinkedIn, a quick TLDR is about LinkedIn is a great place to network, great place to connect with people, great place for job opportunities. And just a great way to stay updated in a lot of things that are happening now. I think about like 90% or so recruiters are on LinkedIn. So if you're looking for an internship or a job, LinkedIn is a place to start and is a place to really build your career if you don't have it. So there's going to be a rubric for how I'm looking for how this assignment should be due. I think this is due in the second week. But LinkedIn is a very important thing, and that's why I make it a requirement as one of our first assignments. One-on-one meetings. This came from an idea from the corporate world. So if you have some, if you guys are working professionals, you understand that sometimes you'll meet with your professors, maybe weekly, bi-weekly, quarterly, whatever it may be. I think this is a great opportunity for me to understand your needs and kind of understand the different things that that you want out of this course, out of the CS program, out of NEIU. And it's my job to make sure that I can try to help you as much as possible. And if I don't know the answer, right, I can definitely find somebody that may know the answer. So this time is dedicated to you, and just for me to better, just to get to know you a little bit better, but also help me understand where I need to make improvements throughout the course as well, right? And I'll mention this throughout the course, throughout today. I believe in 360 reviews, right? It is not simply that I review you, I grade you, I have this overpowering, power. I think feedback is 360. So if there's anything that I can do that's better, by all means, I'm open to hearing about it as well. But yes, so this should be done by I have 8 weeks here, but it should actually be done by the 6th week of the course. I'll make an update to this later on, but yeah, this is just helps me helps me better understand what are some of the needs. Cool. So what we'll have is we'll have a discussion board, we'll have introduction, and then we'll have current events. So simply to break it down, I know the syllabus kind of gives it a little bit better, but the first one is an introductory post where you introduce yourself. I have some guiding questions that will help you through like what you should say, what you should do in your post. And then the second and third discussion boards are considered current event discussion boards. So what I will do is that you'll find an article that's between this time period here that is relevant to the course material. And with that, you'll write, there is the requirements of what you should have, how it should be structured, and then you'll have to respond to your classmates. Typically, you'll have sometimes some professors do this weekly, but I want 2 current events, simply because the course is shorter, but also because I expect more out of these 2 discussion boards, these 2 current event discussion boards than a normal week to a week. discussion board. But we'll talk about that more as it approaches. But that just to keep your eyes out on this one. Quizzes. So we'll have some quizzes in this course. We'll have it on week 3, 6, and 10. So there's 3 major quizzes that we'll have. Not including the syllabus quiz. This is just something that has to get done by the end of the first week. But other than that, we have 3 quizzes. So we have the 3rd, 6th, and 10th week. And these quizzes are not cumulative, and they're not cumulative in the sense that for the quiz that's happening on the 3rd week, it'll be material from week 1, 2, and 3, and then you take the quiz. So by the time you get to the 10th week, I'm not going to ask you to remember some stuff from the 2nd week. So you're only responsible for knowing the information up until that quiz. And this way it helps you better focus narrow your studying, but also helps you just remove some anxiety. I never liked cumulative quizzes. It wasn't fun. I didn't want to do all of that. I didn't know what to study. So with that being said, I have a need to know only within that time frame. But also know that these quizzes will be a max of 3 hours long. So you have the time to take these and take a good approach towards it. I'm all for the idea of, kind of giving more than one attempt. So you'll have 2 attempts on here. First one, you can serve it as a practice one. I really want you to go in there and like really kill it the first time, right? So you don't need that second time. But the first one is there kind of like a little bit of a safety net. I know this material may be new to a lot of people. Some might be a little bit more intense to understand it. It's kind of complex. So with that being said, I gotta give 2 attempts. Strive to get the first one so you don't have to do the second time. And then the final score is the best score. So I don't believe in averages as well. It's a very interesting concept that people do it, but I don't believe in those kind of averages. So best score wins. And yeah, I've already mentioned that it's not cumulative, so you're only responsible for what you know up until that point. And then also, as I mentioned earlier, material that is on the in the book is fair game as well to the quizzes. So quizzes will be, you'll see what in some of my videos that I'll do like practice quiz questions, right? So there's some options. So like really like look into those as well. So some of them might appear, or some form of them, right? As something similar questions. But I'm things from the book is also fair game as well. And then this one over here is for our honors program students. This is an optional thing for students that are not part of the honors program. If you decide to do it, it is extra credit, but it is completely optional to you. If you're not part of the honors program, then it's completely optional to you. But if you are, this is a requirement that you need to do. This is going to be a research paper about these 2 topics here. Either one you can choose. As time progresses, we can set up some touch points of what am I looking for. There's going to be a nice little rubric that I'm going to have, but this is a semester-long research paper. So for those students, please reach out and we'll discuss much more. This research paper is due at the end of the semester. Perfect. So I am all for extra credit. I am big on extra credit. I love extra credit. And here are some methods of how I give extra credit. First one is guest speakers. I think it's super important that with a course like this is, a lot of this is kind of like active learning. I'm lecturing, you're absorbing, you're taking notes, and then you're tested on it. The other approaches that I like is when we have actual professionals in these areas come and speak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have some interviews with some professionals in this field, and they're going to, kind of give their perspective of the job market, of what they do, what they like about it, what they don't like, a whole bunch of things. But this is just to help you in a professional sense. If cybersecurity or in something in this realm is something that interests you, that we can, we'll have somebody in that area, a great networking opportunity as well. I'm going to have these virtual live. If you can't attend, then you can definitely just watch the recordings and submit a 2-paragraph summary of like what you learned through D2L. I'll have the requirements for that posted. But it's a great opportunity for you to ask questions as well. So I think it's pretty cool. Next is called Easter eggs. Easter eggs are fun. This came from the concept of, I actually don't remember where this came from. But throughout the course, some of the materials that you'll see, some of the things that you'll read, I'll say specific things like if you're reading this slide, send me a picture of your pets, and I'll give you 5 point extra credit. So just to make sure, there'll be some Easter eggs throughout, some slides, some quizzes, some videos, but there'll be there's some cue for it. And then for that, you'll know, and I'll say, hey, like this Easter egg is only up for a week or whatever it may be. So there's no retroactively going back on Easter eggs. It's kind of like you see it, you submit it, and you're done. So it's pretty cool. Nothing that you have to, nothing intense that you have to do. Just helps me find, make sure that you're actually reading some of the slides in the material and watching the videos. Let's talk about the grading format. So everything that I mentioned so far all have points attached to it. I like to keep crisp, clean numbers, and I like to have it on a non-weighted scale, like just pretty straightforward. So your LinkedIn post is about 20 points, syllabus quiz 20 points, one-on-ones 25. Your discussion board post initially is 15 points. Current events each will be 60 points, so it's 120 total. Quizzes are 100 points each. That comes up to 30 points. Extra credit, we don't know this yet, right? Because depending on the semester, depending on the course itself, this will change. But subtracting extra credit from everything, your total points is 500 points. And I like to keep my numbers clean because this is a perfect way for you to also check your grade. I didn't like back when I was in undergrad or graduate school where it was so hard for me to calculate my grade. At any point in the semester, all you have to do is, take the points that you've earned, excuse me, take the points that you've earned, divide it by the amount of available points. And at the end of the semester, obviously, you'll have about max about 500 points, so not including extra credit. So that way you can easily understand where you sit in the course at any point in time. Here's the policies, so 90 and above is an A, 80 to 89.99 is a B, and so on and so forth. But I do also have a rule about some of the around grading and the kind of how I approach it. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I can make a mistake on your assignment. I can, deduct points where you may think that you deserve the full points, and I'm open to it, right? I make mistakes all the time. I'm only human. I would say that for any assignment, you have about 48 hours to point out any mistakes. But other than that, the window is closed. If there's an assignment and I deducted points and you wait 2 weeks and say I made a mistake, the grade is going to stay the way it is. For this way, because I can't keep going back and retroactively making changes. So this way, I give everybody the opportunity. If there's a mistake, I'm all for it. If you want me to review an assignment again to make sure that you get the full points, I'll do it. And I'm not one of those professors that will go and say, well, oh, the first time I missed this thing and now you have something else that's wrong. I'm only going to look at the thing that you told me to point out. There's no point in looking at everything holistically again. So just that being said, I'm very flexible, pretty lenient about this, but just let me know. Things happen. I make mistakes. So please help me out. Things to know. Here we go to some interesting parts. So how to be successful in this course itself, right? Again, this course is about 10 weeks long. Pretty short, pretty condensed, goes pretty fast. Some things that you need to know to be successful: watch the lectures, look at the slides, really pay attention. Have an open mind. Some of these concepts may not interest you as you think so, but have an open mind, ask questions, right? I'll leave some room in some, I'll have a discussion board up where you can ask questions, or again, ping me. We'll have I'll create some sort of group so we could all kind of feel more so connected. Collaborate with your classmates. I know this is online and I know it may be a little bit difficult to collaborate, but develop study groups, develop some sort of way that you guys can communicate amongst each other. But obviously just keep everything within academic integrity, right? Which goes into my second point, academic integrity. We'll talk about a little bit more about generative AI and AI in this course and all that. But by all means, please stay within the academic integrity guidelines, right? Last thing I want to do is extra paperwork just because maybe you've done something that goes against the integrity of it. And again, I'm really open to helping as much as possible. So if there's something that you need to get more familiarized with, I'm open, right? And I'm open to help. Seek feedback. If you want more feedback about assignments, if you want more feedback about certain things, please, let me know. 360 feedback, as I mentioned throughout, right? This isn't a one-way street. I'm not just grading you and that is it. I'm also here to learn. So please help me out as much as possible. If there's something you think I could do better, process improvements is a big fundamental thing about what I do. So please let me know. And then if you have any special accommodations, please let me know beforehand, just so I know, just so I can make sure I accommodate as much as possible. And this way, just everything goes smoothly. So now we come to generative AI. So I'll say this much about AI. Um, I work with AI a lot in my work, right? And if it's my time at Google, if it's like other things, I use AI a lot for different things, to help me make my life easier. So I know ChatGPT, I know Gemini, and I know the other tools, and I know how they can be used in the academic world as well. So with that being said, I strongly advise you, if you're going to use any sort of these things, please make sure you do it within the integrity of the guidelines. By all means, some of the material that I'll teach is not straightforward. And sometimes maybe you need ChatGPT to say, hey, like, I don't get it. Can you explain more about encryptions? Can you give me some examples? By all means, that's perfectly fine, right? When it becomes a problem is when I have an assignment and you're simply just copy and pasting into ChatGPT or Gemini and you're submitting that. I work with it a lot, so I can, honestly tell you that I can detect it very quickly, even if you use scramblers. I have my methods just working in the field of it. So please, I don't want to have that kind of conversation. I don't want to have any of these, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to, assume anything. Um, but if it does come up and it does come up in a way where, it is clearly laid out that things have been, plagiarized with using ChatGPT or any other articles, right? We'll have the discussion and this will automatically result into a 0, right? And again, I don't want to do the paperwork. I don't want to take this up to the dean. So please don't do it. And again, things do get hard. So, I honestly understand that. So just please let me know. I want to help as much as possible. Don't resort to using generative AI just because you feel like you're stuck or you feel like you need to do it to gain points or anything. Please don't use it during exams. Don't use it during, any of the other assignments. So, you don't do it, I don't do it. We all good, so we're all good in here. But again, any questions about it, please just let me know. For anybody on campus, this is just a kind of nice TLDR. Campus Shield is a great app. I really advocate for it throughout throughout the year. I more so focus on this in my, spring semesters, which was, actually fall, well, throughout the year. Great app. If you're on campus, I think this is a great app to have. Make sure just if you don't feel safe, sometimes it gets dark. In the winters, it gets really dark really quickly. And just use this to help you. Here are some links to register, add it on your phone. It's like, click of a button, you'll have the campus police around you, you'll have a location sent. So just, this is just for anybody just to make sure they feel safe. And then questions. So that's all that I have for the introductory of the course itself. Um, I've done this for some time now, so I'm here to help. Again, I'm pretty lenient. I'm pretty lax in a way of when I grade assignments, when I help answer questions. I was in your shoe before. I get it. I went to graduate school. I understand that some things are difficult. So some of you are working professionals. Some of you maybe internships, working at their jobs. You have families, you have parents to take care of, or whomever it may be. So life happens, and I get it, and I'm super understanding about it. And for me, like the best way for me is just to let me know, right? Keep me in the nose, keep me in the FYIs, send me a little ping. Hey, this is happening. Sometimes if you need an extension because life happens, that's fine. I get it. I'm not in a way that you need to have things done a certain way all the time. I'm open to everything. So I'm super excited for the course. I'm super excited to be here with everybody and understand and learn more about you guys. So by all means, I'm here and I'm ready to go. This is gonna be a great semester. I'm super happy to talk with you guys and just like teach with you guys. So let's jump together and learn more about cartography.